Hello, I'm Charla Long with Lipscomb University School of Transformaging. It's my privilege to present Part 9 in the 9-part training series on the Quilts Bridge payment submission process on behalf of the Bureau of TennCare. In Part 9, we're really going to focus on the rules of the game. How do you actually complete the online submission process? I encourage you to really listen to this session and to follow the instructions closely. If you do that, you should have a successful submission process. First thing to do, complete a printed copy of the submission form. Earlier, I think it was actually in Part 2, I suggested to you to print out a submission form. Literally print it out and manually write in the answers. That way, when you sit down to do the process electronically, all you're doing is typing in what you've already written out. It'll save you time, and it will really ensure the accuracy of your answers. Second thing you should do is really make sure those attachments are ready. You remember we gave you access earlier to the survey tool list of attachments. You could access them through the PowerPoint presentation as well. But here you want to look at that survey tool list of attachments. Highlight the ones you know you're attaching. Cross out the ones you're not going to attach. That way you know exactly what you need to do when you get into the electronic form. So print the list, follow it closely, and then ensure all of the attachments are ready. Got to be in that PDF format with the exception of that one Excel staffing file. Make sure they're properly titled according to the instructions. Well, what if you only have 3 attachments? Should they be labeled 1, 2, 3? No, unless they are for item 1, item 2, and item 3. If not, they should be attachment number 3, 11, and 17. Okay, so you really want to make sure that they are properly titled according to the instructions that we've given you here in sections 4 through 8. The next piece is I'm going to go over the rules or the submission instructions, okay? These print out on every page. When you are on electronically completing this form, you will see these instructions literally on every page of the survey instrument. So, the first one, the submission form cannot be saved. So if you exit that form, your information is going to be lost. So please, please, please make sure that you allow enough time when you sit down to start the form to finish it in one sitting. The deadline for submitting information in the online form and all of those attachments are 4:30 p.m. Central Time on 9/15/14. Don't be late. Late won't work. Okay? All attachments should be submitted with this form and should comply with the item instructions about how to name the file. All files, except for that one Excel template provided by TennCare, should be saved and sent as a PDF. We recommend Adobe Acrobat here. The template from TennCare should be saved and sent as an Excel file. Okay? All of this has already been explained, so it should be pretty self-explanatory. The next one, you are limited to a single file upload for each question that requests for you to choose file. Okay, so if you want to include multiple documents in your response, you're going to have to first combine them into one single PDF before you go to upload them. Okay, only going to be allowed to upload one file per question that allows you to upload a file. And so if you have multiple things you want to put in there, I would suggest you do it into one single document or it will not work. The next instruction here, before you attach a file, be sure it's the correct one. This is really important. It's a little part of this form process that's kind of got a nuance to it. If you move to, at the bottom it says go to the next page, if you move to next page, you cannot change the files that have been previously attached. Okay? If you attach the wrong file and you're still on that page, simply just choose File, hit that button again, and you can get a different file. But if you move to next page, it's stuck, that's the one you're going to have. What we suggest is that you actually save that as a practice submission and then go back in and redo it again and upload the correct files if you've already moved on to the next page. Next round of instructions. Answer each question. In order to receive credit for any item listed below, the entire section has to be filled out and or requested attachments must be submitted. So if you don't answer the question or you haven't answered in its entirety, you will not earn points. And we certainly don't want, a sloppy submission to end up counting or costing you points and obviously payment. Unless otherwise instructed, performance is based on this July 21, 2014 period of time or sooner, right? Performance is measured prior to that July 1, 2014. Performance since July 1, that's going to be measured on future submissions, and we gave you a chart of that earlier in this training session. Some questions display additional guidance when you kind of hover your mouse over the question, or if you click in the response area. You might want to pay special attention to that. It's kind of additional instructions that we hope will help you when you're actually completing the form. All right, so if you see something like that pop up, you can hover over that question or even click in that response area, and it'll give you some additional instructions if that you might find to be helpful. The next one, please make sure your submission is final before you press submit. Okay? If you submit the form as actual submission and you indicate the confirmation of that on the final page, this submission will be considered your final version, and amendments, alterations, additions, changes will not be accepted. Okay? If you hit actual submission and you confirm it is in fact your actual submission, then you will not be allowed to change it, even if you could have changed it before the deadline of 9/15. Alternatively, if you select practice submission, your submission is never going to be considered by TennCare. They won't even look at it. So you've got to be careful and make sure that you accurately choose whether it's actual submission or a practice submission. So we actually give you an opportunity to start out as a practice submission and then change it at the end to an actual submission if you ended up being satisfied with your work. Does that make sense? So it gives you that opportunity to go in and practice without actually submitting it. But if you actually submit or do an actual submission, that will be your submission for this quarter. So be careful. I gave this caution earlier, but I just really want to reiterate, make sure you have reliable internet coverage. Since the form doesn't save, it's often frustrating if you're almost done with it and then you drop your connection and you've lost all the stuff you've been putting in. So really make sure you've got reliable internet coverage. Make sure you have enough time to complete the process in that one sitting. And then when you're ready, click the link and begin the process. We know you're going to be able to do great work, and we hope that the process is going to be very easy, and it's our hope anyway that this training series will get you as prepared as you possibly can be to be successful in the submission process. However, if you have questions and you've watched these 9 videos and you still have questions, you can contact the Long-Term Services and Supports call center at 1-877 224-0219 between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and you can receive assistance personally for any questions that you might have. Good luck, and we hope it's an easy process for you.